Hey guys, welcome to Wine Down, the podcast where we talk wine and everything that goes with it. Today it is photography. We're here with Kimo Lauer.
Hi.
Thank you for joining us.
Hey. Welcome. I'm glad to be here.
I mean, we get to see you all the time. Not only we're talking about photography, but you also you styled us today, styled our hair,
Fun
glammed
times.
us up a little bit. Yeah.
Covered the sweat off my brow. I shouldn't say
Powdered
that.
your nose.
He's like the shimmer.
Yeah, a little dewy.
I really wish we could have like the makeup brushes in your hand right now so you can show us how you were holding it when you're brushing off our faces.
But you're the jack of all
Talented.
trades. Yeah, it's not just makeup, it's photography.
Yeah. But Kimo, you've done a whole bunch of work. I mean, you've done all the pageant queens. Of course, our Miss Universe Brooke Lee uses you all the time. So can you tell us a little bit about your work?
Yeah, I mainly do stills, and I work with agents and agencies doing publicity photos and editorials and that kind of stuff. So very fortunate, very lucky.
Yeah.
Got to do a lot of traveling. Assisting in the beginning while I was going to art school, and then it just kind of evolved. It was a different beast back then because it was actually using film, and equipment was different, and
Yeah, can't anybody be a photographer now though? Like,
I mean, you know.
I mean, I got this iPhone that tells me that I could be a photographer, right?
Professional, right? It's a
No, yeah,
professional.
that's how I justified spending another grand on like the newest phone, right?
Yeah.
You're like, no, I'm gonna be like, I'm on this podcast now, and I need to do social media things. So
I mean, they do take great photos, especially the eye kind of fills in the blank with everything else. So, but you can, you have a little more control with manually shooting. So, but everything still gets digitized. So even if you were to shoot film nowadays, you still have to scan the negatives or the slides and have a digital output and then run it through your programs. So.
I was just joking. I've seen your work. Like
Thanks for now.
anybody that can make me look like what you did, like that's definitely good work for sure.
So how do you, I mean, with photography, of course, you have a creative side and that creativity, but I mean, I've heard that your house is pretty unique and cool and museum and haunted house and all of these. So can you tell us a little bit about it?
Well, with being able to travel, we would bring back, my partner would bring back souvenirs. So we would ship containers back from Europe.
Wow.
Of what?
Of furniture. instead of just souvenirs, we would bring back, tables and just all kinds of stuff.
So did it start as like a theme, or it was just souvenirs?
Just thing we liked. Yeah, we would go to the in Paris they would call them the brocantes. They were just the antique, the area where they had all the antiques and stuff. So it was just kind of fun, and it became a little overwhelming.
I thought you would like take back pictures. When I heard like your house was like that, I thought you would like take pictures back, like candids, and stick them all over your wall. That's not
some
it.
of that too.
Who's the most famous person you had the pleasure of shooting?
Probably, they're masters in their own field, like Frank Gehry, the architect. He's kind of, that was really interesting to go to the compound in Santa Monica and go behind the whole, his firm and meeting all the team and his wife. And that was a lot of fun. And then Hans Zimmer, the composer.
Wow.
So we kind of had to get, cleared to enter the, like his bat cave where he does all his.
Tell me about it. Or you're not, they're going to kill you. If
he has all his analog equipment, still, in his studio, but then he has all his, the technology stuff where he's really doing the work. And then we went up to, in the Hollywood Hills, Moby, he does everything too. Virgo as well. We share the same birthday, 9/11. But yeah, it was it was really interesting. And meeting, as you guys know, as people in the industry, you come across very eccentric people and people of all kinds of walks of life. So it's been
like
a lot
us.
of fun. Yeah, exactly.
You're putting all of us into one room.
Yeah, and it's great to be back. I've been gone for a very long time, just coming back to visit family and friends, and not really working when I came home, but so now it's fun to be back in the
When
mix.
did you leave? Like, when did you leave Hawaii?
I left right after high school.
Wow, and you only
just a couple decades
moved
ago.
back. Oh my goodness.
Just a couple decades ago.
So what was that like? Because you left when you were
17.
So leaving Hawaii, going to LA, like how, oh my gosh, that must have been.
Yeah, you get there and you're like, what a dump.
Yeah.
Then you go to New York and you're like, this is really a dump. No, that was a different time. It's all cleaned up now. But yeah.
You moved specifically for
school and art, and then I got into photography. After that, along with that.
What inspired you? Like, you've always been creative. You always had that eye for photography.
Yeah, growing up here, I had scholarships to the Honolulu Art Academy, so that was a lot of fun. I have an older sister, so I would do all of her art projects, and then when I had those teachers, they thought she was doing my projects. So it was kind of funny that they would say, you have to do your own work. You can't let your sister do it.
Oh my gosh. Well, we have to take a quick break. I'm sorry to cut you off, but when we come back, we'll hear more about this story.
I didn't even know there were art schools.
Rest easy with the new windows from Windows Hawaii, featuring Ali'i Extreme windows with their exclusive sound reduction and security package. Call 671-0808 today. Enjoy Andis Winery's new painted fields Cuvée Blanc featuring the sought-after Vermentino varietal, exclusively at 7-Eleven Hawaii.
Welcome back to Wine and Photography. Okay, Kimo, we are going to drink some wine. Are you ready?
Let's get right into it.
Yeah,
So I'm
my favorite, red.
I don't ever force anybody to drink, but this particular bottle, so I'm going to make you finish this glass, if that's okay.
Yeah, I will.
So Molly Dooker.
I might want more.
That's why I poured you a little bit.
I'm not greedy.
That's why I poured you a little bit.
Not at all.
No, there's this thing called the Molly Dooker Shake, and Molly Dooker is like a very, very popular wine in Australia. I'm assuming you like big reds, right?
Yeah.
You're a steak guy. You're everything guy. We
right.
like to eat.
Yeah.
We like to drink. There's this thing called the Molly Dooker Shake, and you'll see it, but we have to empty our glass. So taste the wine now, like feel how it feels, taste how it tastes, and then we'll do the Molly Dooker Shake and we'll see how it tastes afterwards. And there's a really real scientific reason for looking like an idiot when you're doing this with wine, but yeah, so we gotta empty the glasses. I'm not saying to shoot it, but
you're not feeling it. Moani's not feeling it.
I'll drink yours.
Oh,
it's just very.
it's
I'll try it.
powerful.
Yep.
Oh, it's a big boy.
It's a big boy.
Which is funny because Blue Eyed Boy is the name of the wine, Shiraz, and it's actually named after the winemaker's son.
It'd be great with a nice big steak or.
Yeah.
And
you like steak?
I don't eat steaks, so maybe.
Maybe
that's true. Boring.
Or a portobello mushroom or something maybe.
Ooh. Do you like
There's
to
no
cook?
substitute for blood. There's no substitute for iron and blood.
I don't mind it. I'm not trying to be rude. I'm really not trying to be rude. It's just.
He said
we know that, Chris. I mean, this is season 2. We all know your personality.
Thank you. Charming.
You can tell I didn't really prepare for it too much.
Upfront.
Friendly.
This is just a
So
little.
we chose the bottle too, because of photography, right? So let's be real. Wine is hard. There's a lot of things to know about wine. The majority of people that pick wine choose it because of the label, right?
I do.
No shame in that. But one of my favorite wines, I mean, besides, this is a classic example of label art photography, but it's from one of my favorite winemakers called Mia Klein, and she actually has a picture of her grandmother water skiing on there. And so I mean, it's about the wine and it's about the juice, but it's also about the people.
What are you doing? Why are you shaking?
So this is the Molly Dooker Shake.
Are you supposed to?
Yes.
Oh.
It says on the bottle clearly, to enjoy this wine at its best, serve at 60 degrees Fahrenheit, and do the Molly Dooker Shake until 2020.
Did you shake it before you poured?
No.
Moani?
See, that's why.
That's why she didn't like it.
That's why you didn't like it.
That's
That's why I have to
exactly
finish your
why.
glass.
No, it's just not my flavor.
That's cool.
I
Different
don't
strokes
like it.
for different folks. So
Do you have a favorite?
I mean, I like red wine, but
Tequila?
it's not my.
Two.
I can't really get into it.
Do you have a preference, red or white? Or
White.
White.
I really like tequila as well, but we're not on that subject for this show.
That's okay. We'll get that later.
We'll get there.
We'll get that later.
So this is sort of like decanting a wine, right? Like we talked about
Airing it out.
decanting. Yeah, it's essentially aeration. And the cool thing about this is this doesn't look romantic at a table, right? Can you imagine your sommelier and the suit and tie coming up to you with a with the like serviette on his hand and like doing
And
this
shaking
and
it up.
like, yeah, you like this. But it really is like it's just like a quicker decant.
Yeah.
There's this thing called
Interesting, I didn't know that.
reduction that happens with some wines, especially wines with higher alcohol, which you touched on. Absolutely a wine of body, of warmth, of alcohol. And wine's under screw cap. So it's reduction is like essentially the absence of oxygen.
Okay.
And what you're doing here is like forced
Adding,
oxygenating
yeah.
it.
And I don't mean to, might be stupid, but when you say like aerating the wine or like how we would do it in a decanter, by you shaking it, it's closed, like the lid is closed. So how are you aerating
The
it?
oxidization of
Yeah,
it all
how
is
is
not
it-
happening. Right?
Oh, there's still like we close
Air
the
in the
bottle
bottle.
here, but there's still oxygen in the bottle.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And then there's actually like a really fancy term if you want to impress your friends. The airspace between the bottle and the wine is called ullage.
Ullage.
Yeah.
Ullage.
So you can like look at a bottle and say, that ullage
That's
is
a lot of
particularly
ullage.
concerning.
You
We
see
need
the
more.
level.
We
of
need
the ullage.
more.
We actually need less.
Put some more of the fluid in my glass to make more room.
For the ullage.
We need more ullage.
Yeah.
So we can do this in multiple steps too. Like you'll see the change for sure.
All right.
Like you'll see it after 2, you'll see it
Okay.
after 3.
For sure.
And if you don't just lie about it, it's TV, right?
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, it's totally
The
different.
color's beautiful.
Oh my
I
gosh,
don't know.
it's
We've been
amazing.
pretty honest and transparent so far.
This is
so I don't
matching
think-
you perfectly.
I know.
That's why we wore this.
Wine.
Match the wine.
That's right.
Cheers, Kimo, and cheers.
Oh, cheers.
Cheers.
Oh, again?
There we go.
Is that normal though for some people to be like turned off easily by a? I don't know.
For me? Yeah.
No, like just like other people that are sampling
Oh,
wine.
wine.
Actually, it does taste smoother.
Yeah,
It
like,
does,
right?
especially
yeah.
red wines. Like, is it ever like it's too powerful and they're like,
Oh yeah, for sure.
Okay.
For sure.
I
And like
just feel bad.
no, you like what you like. It's okay. Like I know these guys personally, they're super nice people. You hate their wines. It's
She's like, can I have ice cubes in
No,
there?
it's not that I don't hate your wine. Oh, I feel so bad. I should
No,
just
no.
drink it.
No,
It's
don't,
just
please
like
She might like it better with an ice cube.
with my, and that's the thing. Like you can drink it with a
you
nice
are
cube.
just so
It's
clever.
okay.
Laying
All
on
right,
Nicole
guys.
already. Cheers with your ice cubes.
I hate to interrupt your banter, but we're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back.
120-day peace of mind guarantee exclusively at Inspiration Interiors. Inspiration will refund you the difference if you find a lower price on identical merchandise delivered in Hawaii. When the sun comes up, your bill goes down with Revolusun. Call 748-8888 or visit online at revolusun.com now. Hawaii's premier solar provider. All right, guys. Hey, welcome back. We're here with Kimo, and we're talking everything photography
And wine.
and wine.
As my
And
glass
that
is
goes
empty.
with it. No.
I don't know why it
it's
keeps
supposed to be
getting-
wine and
Yeah,
everything
I
that goes
think
with
there's a
it.
hole
Wait,
in your
but
glass.
Something, yeah.
It was different, right?
Yes.
On number 2. You're not lying.
No,
You
it
wouldn't
was
lie to me,
definitely,
right?
yeah, no, it was definitely. And
It's
there's-
okay
and
to
there's-
lie.
And there's bubbles.
Yeah.
But
So watch the third one.
there you go.
Yeah, even better.
All
So
right.
what do you like to use to like shoot with?
I prefer medium format
Okay.
cameras. Just you get the different depth of field, and it just looks different.
Can you explain
So,
that to a layman?
Well,
Medium.
yeah, I hung on to using a larger film camera for probably way too long. I should have transferred over to digital, but it just has more. It has more information, so you can manipulate it, or it. I don't know. It just looks different on the perspective. It's like your eyes. So if you focus on someone's face, everything kind of blurs out around them. So when you use like an iPhone, everything's in focus. You know what I mean? But when you have a better quality camera, you can blur things out. So you're like just your eyeball is in focus, and then everything else starts blurring out. So then you know it's like somebody paid a little bit more for their equipment. that
Right.
way. So-
Nobody has ever explained photography to me like that before.
Oh, really?
And I
So it's like your
completely
eyes.
get it now.
Yeah, like you know
Yeah.
how you look at somebody and everything blurs out.
Yeah.
So with a higher quality camera, you can mimic that the way your eye sees things. So when it's kind of, you don't want to say less quality, everything's kind of in focus. So yeah, that's the difference. And with learning on film, a lot of times we only had 10 frames per roll of film. So you'd have to buy the film, you have 10 shots, then you have to process the film. So you have to be careful. So you're like, don't blink, But now with digital, you can just kind of You know.
So you're paying a little bit more for like the subtleties.
Yeah,
Like-
so people don't like to edit 500 images. So with having a film background, it kind of limits like the need to edit a whole bunch of films. So images.
That's
From
cool.
like when you started to now, do you see the shift of acceptance in photography or being like able to, branch off and bring other things in that you might do? Do you see a difference? Or a
I
shift?
definitely see a difference because the selfie.
Ooh.
Yeah, so.
You have to go up. You have to go up.
Kimo, you're gonna need to explain
like
it to
this.
them. These girls have no idea what a selfie is.
Of course not.
Of course not. Yeah.
Just kidding.
I don't even know what Facetune is.
That's so cool.
Filters? What's that?
What is that?
But,
I just use that every day.
Oh.
I think about wine like that too, like you're paying for the subtleties. So some of the most
Yeah.
expensive wine bottles in the world, like if you were to taste it without any context and you were to have it blind, like
Yeah.
cool. Like this is good, this is well made, but
Right.
like it's serious wine. Like it offers you more information. Like there's more things on the palate, there's more stuff going on, and it's not just like alcohol
One tone.
or blueberries, but it's like there's things that you have to search for.
That lingers.
Yeah, one of the most expensive bottles in the entire world, and that I got to try is Domaine della Romani Conti, and the winemaker for that likes to say that any single smell in the entire world that exists, if you're looking hard enough, you can find it in that glass.
Interesting.
So subtlety is like so, I don't know, and it could be all just BS, right?
Yeah.
But like, I like the wine. If I'm not paying for it, it's
Right.
great. What's the coolest place that you traveled?
I think Budapest is pretty cool.
Wow.
Like, oh yeah.
It's interesting because Budapest is separated from the Seine River, and then Pest is on one side. So it's like Budapest. And they had their own different kind of wines and drinks and food, a lot of goulashes. And
Well, I want to hear more about that, but we have to
Yeah,
take a quick break.
definitely.
We are going to go and check in for our cocktail with the week with Tevis. So
Yeah,
we'll see you
Tevis.
as soon as he's done with that.
Cheers.
Thanks, guys. Today's cocktail of the week is going to be called the Empire. A lot of Japanese influence for this one here. So I'm a firm believer what grows together goes together. So let's go ahead and start getting this one going. So the first thing we're going to use, our spirit of choice, will be the Roku gin. It's a Suntory gin from Japan. They use some yuzu, Japanese tea, a little bit of shishito peppers as well. We're also going to use something that I created here. This is a shiso simple. So basically make a typical simple syrup, roast a little bit of shiso leaves into the water there. We got a little bit of yuzu as our citrus component. Now yuzu is something a little difficult to come by at times. I find that H. Martin Kakako is pretty consistent when carrying that product. Last thing here before we shake it up, we're gonna have some yuzu kosho, which is a Japanese chili paste, really salty, a lot of heat. You only want a tiny little bit of that in here. We're gonna go and shake this up. So, if you have regular ice at home, that's totally fine. I'm gonna get a little bougie with it here today. Friends of ours over at Ice Cube Hawaii provided us with some really pretty rectangle, we call them ice spears pretty much. It's gonna look clear in here once we strain this out. So we're gonna top this off with some sparkling sake, basically. It's gonna add some nice effervescence to it. Kind of make it a little more refreshing. So we're just gonna go ahead and garnish this here. Some shiso leaves. Right here we have the Empire. Cheers.
Welcome back to Wine, and thank you so much, Tevis, for the cocktail of the week. All right, Kimo, let's talk about some of your work.
Okay.
Tell us about some of your amazing work that you worked with some people or.
Well, one that's definitely stood out was Molly Shannon, another fellow Virgo. A lot of humor and fun, and she definitely at the end of the shoot was like, "Don't you want a photo with me?" Because I usually don't get in the photo, like I don't do this out, I usually don't do that.
The selfie.
But, yeah, but she was just like, almost insulted that I didn't want to take a selfie with her, but it was a lot of fun. And then of course I get to work with Brooke a lot, Brooke Lee, And I was fortunate enough to be hired at the time to do all the winners for Miss Teen, Miss USA, and Miss Universe for that, and it was interesting.
Wow.
Yeah. That was a lot of fun.
What was like one of your favorite stories about that whole time or
That whole
memory?
time, all the cultures that prioritize beauty is really interesting. I guess kind of like ceremonial food, or like different times to drink certain wines.
All the time.
Yeah, all the time.
Every time.
Sounds good
all
to
the
me
time.
all the time.
It's different, right?
Yeah.
I'm
I'm sure.
Like, is it really different? Like how?
Shh, nobody tell Moani.
No,
It's a
this
secret.
is wine in. I want to know about
They
it.
have like
is
dessert
totally
wines,
different.
or they
Oh,
have,
okay,
like,
okay. I thought like a
wines
sequence.
for-
Oh, I was talking about this
lighter
one.
wines.
How it changed.
Yeah,
Don't tell her. She didn't want to drink it.
I know, it's
I'm just
way
joking.
smoother.
Oh,
It
good.
really is.
I'm glad.
We're gonna have to try that.
Yeah.
She believes
Shake
us.
it up.
Does it smell like blueberries to you? Because that's what I mean. It's the name, Blue Eyed
Yeah.
Boy, but like it reminds the winemaker of like blueberry pie.
Yeah, definitely has that smell.
You're not just like humoring me, right?
No. I can,
like,
I can
yeah,
smell. I
yeah,
can smell like a
yeah,
blueberry
yeah.
pie.
Leah's definitely disagreeing.
It's. I mean,
I
that's,
might need another glass to make sure.
Hold on.
I have Moani's glass and she's not having any.
it's. I mean, it's super important. So like, smells are so personal. So whatever you smell is what you smell, and that's the correct answer. But
right.
when you're like talking about a specific grape or a specific region, South Australian Shiraz like this,
Yeah.
we have tells or we have markers. And like one of the biggest markers besides the high alcohol in the fruit for South Australian Shiraz is like blueberry pie.
Oh, that's interesting to know. I didn't know that.
And like candied violets, lavender. So like really floral, pungent
Yeah,
flowers.
I like that when it's floral. It's not like drinking soap, but I like that floralness,
I was gonna say.
When you think of like eating flowers and stuff, it gets very like soapy, but that's not.
I
that's
don't know.
not- like
Have
that.
you tried it before?
Eating
Well, like in
you
Europe, they
haven't?
make like desserts with flowers.
Oh,
So,
okay, okay.
Yeah, like roses. And
I mean, have you ever eaten soap?
That's what I
as
was
a kid,
Yeah, when you talk
As a kid, yes. You said something bad? Put it in your mouth.
when you steal 99-cent Hershey Kiss,
right?
you get stuff in your mouth.
I left that out. We're not bringing it back in.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
Does it smell like that though? I mean, it smells like all the things it's supposed to smell like.
Yeah,
Blueberries, candied, floral, lavender soap.
I mean, definitely the blueberries there, and all the little floral notes.
Let me teach you another wine geek term.
Sure.
Typicity.
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 Wow, that's very typical.
Oh.
Typicity this is a high typicity Shiraz. It's very typical of Shiraz.
Well, Kimo, is there
We
any
just like to
way...
say basic. No, I'm kidding.
Basic.
No.
Is there any way that people can find you on social media or website?
Oh, sure. It's just my name, Kimo Lauer, Kimolauer.
Okay, well, we're going to continue this conversation in our YouTube extended version. So go ahead and follow us on YouTube or Instagram, Wine and Podcast. Like, comment, subscribe, leave us compliments, leave Kimo compliments.
Please validate us.
Let us know how we're
We
doing.
want to come back.
All right, we'll see you. End it out.
So, what would you pair this with
That's a
besides
really
meat?
good question.
Besides meat and steak and
I think this is something that you would pair with steak, correct?
Yeah, for sure. I mean,
it's got to hold up to this this taste, the boldness.
It's big.
Yeah.
It's like it's not a shy wine. It's what some
I know
people would say.
that.
Like, well, temperature makes a huge difference too.
She's like, I need 2 ice cubes in mine and some 7-Up, some Sprite.
I'm a ginger ale kind of girl.
There you go.
Is it too late to walk off?
Okay, here. So what, if you could, what else would go with it besides steak?
This is the kind of
Something
wine that we call
grilled?
like yes, but trophy wines.
Yeah.
So like wines that can be probably enjoyed by itself and not much else. But yeah, grilled stuff. So there's like
Something charred.
types of impacts of cooking, and grilling is a really high impact cooking, right?
Yeah.
Like on the opposite end, like boiling would be a low end, or like
Right.
sous vide would be like low end. There's very low impact stuff there.
Yeah.
Grilling, you're like charring it.
Yeah.
You're actively doing stuff to it. You're adding like black bits to it and like bitterness and stuff like that. And that's basically what this wine needs. So yeah, like grilled things.
Caramelized.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You should
see
sit.
it.
You should sit here. We should switch. Teaching how to take photos. I mean, I already have an iPhone, so I'm basically a photographer.
Right.
But
I'm drinking enough wine. Or wine connoisseurs.
You have a new job now.
I'm talking shit to Kimo, and he's like flown all over the world and like, met like all these cool people.
It's all good.
And did
We're
all
all
these
good.
amazing things.
But then you realize they're all just people like us. Like, you know.
Yeah,
it's
you
all
have a
good.
really like the people you shot, the things you have to do. That's a really cool life.
Yeah, I got very lucky. Lucky at a time where things were transitioning, and then it's flooded now. So
I was supposed to travel in 2020 to like I had the wine trip of a lifetime.
Oh,
book.
really?
Like the bucket list things, the only trip I'll ever need to take for wine.
Yeah.
And
And it's a pandemic.
yeah, but so I didn't do it.
Oh.
Where were you gonna go? Jinx.
I'm embarrassed because I haven't been to a lot of these places. Like I am fortunate enough because like we study through drinking, right? That's why a kid in Hawaii can go and try to compete at the world level nowadays.
How do you like the Hawaii wines?
I love them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really do. And just because like mostly because they're Hawaii wines.
Yeah.
So like we gotta just put our money where our mouth is, and like there's been I'll talk about breweries.
Yeah.
There's been an influx of like local breweries.
Yeah.
And like were they amazing when they first started? Probably not, you know. But I would go there because like I want them to be around all the time, and I choose to live in Hawaii. I was born and raised here. I will die here.
Yeah.
I want to live in a place with like cool rad shit. So like where's my money gonna go to? Well, these local breweries. And like they don't need my money anymore, you know, they're like successful. But
Okay, wait. So I'm sorry. Where did you want to take this trip?
sorry.
We went a little bit.
So yeah, I haven't been to a lot of these places. So
Okay, like,
I
where
haven't
did you
even been
wanna
in
go?
New York. So I had a stopover in New York, Switzerland, and Lake Geneva to see like this hermit of a winemaker whose bottles you can never find.
Wow.
France, all of Italy, and in Corsica. Come back, go to Vegas because
Why
Vegas.
Why not? Yeah.
Um,
Gotta stop on the way home.
yeah.
Did you do California? The California wines, right?
Yeah, we do a lot of like the
trips?
California stuff.
Napa?
And I'm
Do you prefer Napa or Sonoma?
That's a great question.
Yeah.
You can tell a lot about a person. Like,
Sonoma all the way.
Yes, I went to
Yes.
Sonoma. It's beautiful.
No shade on Napa, but I like Sonoma.
I feel like a little shade on that.
Putting that on my list.
You can tell a lot about a person for that question. Because
Yeah.
like
Really?
Napa's like the place with the fancy restaurants and the Michelin stars and the, you know, really expensive
High
things.
end.
Yeah. And Sonoma's the place with like one of the best breweries on the planet. And
Yeah.
like, yeah. So I got to experience Napa and Sonoma, and I love those places. But
Favorite? Would you go back to certain?
What about
favorite.
you?
Sonoma. I love
Okay.
Sonoma. Yeah, that's
Well,
great.
for the wine and relationships episode, we did Fred Scher. We had his wines on, and
Yeah.
can't wait to go back. It's like it's a farmhouse. It's crazy.
And girls, where have you gone to? That's your favorite.
I've gone to both, and I really love Sonoma.
Sonoma.
We need a wine and trip.
We really do
We
need
do.
field trips. I say that every
Did
episode.
I think
trip, guys.
it's
Field
easy
trip.
to go to Napa, especially if you have friends in San Fran, and then you
Yeah.
decide to do that whole Napa or a winery trip with them.
Right.
But going to Sonoma, I was like, wow, it's just such a different feeling,
Yeah.
like everything about it. It's so
It's
whimsical.
way more relaxed.
Yes,
Yeah.
it's more low key. It's
Yeah.
not like, oh, I have to like really go
You don't. I've never got a double
Go with a
look
full
there.
beat
Yeah.
down.
hair up, dress cute. Sonoma.
And
Oh,
much-
are we wearing Crocs? Okay.
What's wrong with Crocs?
Nothing. I used to wear them in high school.
Yeah,
It's
Sonoma's
okay if you
one.
still wear Crocs. It's okay. Just wear them on the next episode so
I
we
think
can
it's
tease
just
you.
like I'm not saying necessarily in Napa like you have to try. It's just more so like always feeling like you have to be on the whole time in Napa, right? Because you're not only going to these beautiful, and I'm not saying that Sonoma isn't beautiful and
Right.
the, you know, different breweries that they have, but it's just that sense of, oh, okay, I can just like walk out and go into a brewery and just
They're
hang
like
out.
farmers.
Yeah.
They're farmers over there. It
Yeah.
seems like, again, it seems like we're bashing one place, but like, no, I love it. I kayaked in Russian River, and it was cold as hell, and you never want to fall in the water because it's so freezing. Like we go there to like look at the grapes. So that's around winter time-ish,
Right.
you know,
Yeah.
like September, October. It's
But their
cold.
sugars are getting
Yeah, just
sweeter.
it's the perfect time to visit. Not for the wineries because the winemakers don't want anything
And
to
in
do with
Hawaii,
you.
do they have Maui and the Big Island?
I haven't had much of the Big Island stuff, but I love Yeah, I think Maui's awesome.
Where else do they have wineries in Hawaii?
That's a great question. There's the Volcanoes Winery, but
Right.
I don't
They've been
really
around a
know.
while, yeah.
And so is Maui. Like ode to them.
Thanks, parents. They would always send us gift boxes of volcano wines. And,
I've actually never had.
really?
I've never had it. That's
They
like
would
shame.
call and they're like, Fulan, it's on sale. Back it all up.
Where in Maui do they have?
Up country.
I'm not
Yeah,
sure.
Ulupala
I wonder if you-
Kua.
Oh.
I'm like totally mispronouncing. Like, no, I really love that winery. How do you
I'm
say it
surprised
again?
Oahu doesn't have one.
Ulupalakua.
Kauai doesn't have them yet.
Yet. Yeah. Well, it's tough here. I mean, like, theoretically, you can have 2 harvests per year. We're so tropical.
Right.
Yeah.
And some of the best wines that Maui makes, actually, they take the grapes from California. The sparkling rosé, which is one of my favorite wines. Yeah, but it's about like being local and being transparent about it. Right?
Yeah.
Like, they still provide local people jobs. They still do whatever. Right? Yeah, I'm a huge fan. We should take a trip there. Can we take a
Yes,
trip
please.
there?
Yeah.
That would be fun.
That's definitely in the budget,
I'll
right,
take
boss?
photos.
Kimo's
We
in.
don't need Napa or
just take
Sonoma, but like, we have the budget to go to Maui, right? I hope.
So besides photography,
Love to cook.
okay.
Ooh, what do you like to
Yeah.
cook?
I've been using, because I'm back in Hawaii now, I put lihimoi on everything. So I'll do like honey chicken and I'll put lihimoi powder all over it.
Wow.
I'll use, of course, lihimoi powder on drink top.
Oh, you want me to read it?
rims.
So, yeah, rim. So
I bet it would be really good with this drink. No lie. Like just it would, right?
right.
Chris is
He's like, don't disrespect the
you
wine."
are kidding me.
But
I'm sorry.
adulterated with lihimoi powder.
What type of like food are you like really interested in?
I've always loved, one thing about Hawaii, everything's kind of like fusion food. So, drinking wine with, if you have a Riesling with Thai food or spicy food, it's really refreshing. And,
We gotta hang out more.
yeah.
Seriously.
And
We are now.
charred grilled food with these bold reds are awesome. Also, like Chardonnay, what do you like to pair with Chardonnays? They're pretty
everything.
bold.
They're so versatile though.
Yeah,
Like we just did the blind tasting of
buttery
Chardonnay.
one, yeah.
Yeah, and it was like they're 2 different things, and we like 2 different. Yeah, it's so versatile. One can go with a salad, one can go with like cream chicken,
Yeah.
and everything. in
Pinot
between.
Grigios are pretty universal with everything too, right?
It's like the McDonald'sfication of wine.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
That's a
like
new one. I
everything
haven't
sort
heard
of
that.
like.
Is that a
'Cause
wine
a lot of
term?
people-
McDonald'sfication?
McDonald'sfication.
All of my gems.
okay.
Okay. Use them however you like.
Pinot Grigio, the McDonald'fication of wines.
It's like everything like converges to like sort of taste
Yeah.
all the same, which is why like having these like really, I don't know, pat myself on the back, but like selections that are a little bit outside of the norm.
Yeah.
I think
It's
that's
shaking
cool.
the bottle up. That's new for me.
I know. How else do you shake the bottle? Chris, why don't you show us?
Yeah, demonstrate again.
Huh?
Round 3.
Yeah, round 3. Yeah,
Add more oxygen to it.
yeah. And now it's bubbly, so
Yeah, definitely.
thanks so much for joining us.
Yeah, definitely.
That was lots of fun.
Thanks for having me.
Cheers with your empty glass.
Cheers. Well, I don't have any, but
Yeah, we know.
Wine.